Morgan Leahy here. This is my installment 3 for Humanities. I did it on recommended films, so here we go! Alright, first movie I was recommended to watch was Pretty in Pink, directed by John Hughes. Why I thought this was such a great movie, throughout the entire movie, the whole theme of individualism is strung throughout all the ups and downs. The two main characters are Andy, acted by Molly Ringwald, and Ducky, John Cryer. They're kind of the two hipsters of the 80s. I mean, the only reason they really dress differently is because of their economic status. But they're still different from the social norms in terms of personality and how they act and how they treat everybody. They're generally accepting to everybody around them. In the movie, Andy falls in love with one of the rich kids, Blaine. This causes a huge controversy because the rich kids are only supposed to date the rich kids, also known as the Richies, and the poor kids shouldn't even try to communicate with the Richies whatsoever. This movie shows more of an important theme of individualism and going against the social norm that I feel needs to be expressed more throughout places like high school and middle schools. It says that the human experience isn't something to take too seriously and definitely something you should use to experiment, kind of find what you like. Don't waste it trying to fit in, it's not worth it. I mean, creativity is something to be proud of, and just live the human experience up. You only get one try to actually do this, so be yourself. It's definitely the theme that I thought is what made this movie so great. Okay, second movie I was recommended to watch was a James Bond movie. It's one of the early ones in the 80s. It was Octopussy. Okay, yeah, I'm only an okay fan of James Bond movies because my mom is absolutely in love with them. I definitely don't think they're that great personally. The person who recommended this was my old boss. He, for some reason, loved all the James Bond movies, just like my mom did. But it was a James Bond movie. It was an action movie filled with lots of raunchy weirdness that happens in all the other 15 movies that 007 is in. What it has to say about the human experience? I don't know. This movie's not really realistic at all. There's no really underlying moral of the story, in my opinion. It's difficult to act like I liked the movie, so I'm just gonna say I didn't really. It was action movie, not really my thing. It was in the 80s, yay, but definitely not anything significant, worth humanity deep thought at all. So yeah, James Bond, Octopussy, try to be invincible, I guess is the theme, or what it would say about the human experience. So that's about it. Third, other movie I was recommended to watch by my AP Gov teacher, Mr. Taylor, was Better Off Dead. This movie was one that taught the lesson of letting go of something even though it seemed like it was the best thing that could have ever happened to you. Yeah, it taught that there are always bigger and better things to come later. What comes with the bad usually comes with good later on in life. John Cusack played Lane Meyer. He was the main character. He was broken up by his girlfriend in the beginning of the movie, and he becomes suicidal, slightly delusional, and has weird hallucinations. And as the movie progresses, he realizes there are other things that he still has to accomplish before it's actually okay for him to die. He even says something along the lines of, "Wait a minute, this is death here. I haven't even been to New York yet. I haven't even left this place yet." And it kind of shows there's much more to just the bad relationship that he had to experience in life. And as the movie progresses, he ends up establishing a relationship with a foreign exchange student and realizing that that was the better that came along with the bad part in his life. It says the human experience is nothing to waste, and you have to be patient with it. If you try to force something, it probably isn't the best option for you. It won't be okay. Don't force it. Be patient. It's definitely what it's trying to say about the human experience. Another movie I was recommended to watch was Breakfast Club. This was recommended by my Uncle Chad. This, I can't even put into words how much this stresses to define the social norm and to not be judgmental. I mean, it's definitely saying it's okay to be yourself, but you don't always have to stick to the stereotype. Experiment with life. Do things you're unexpected to do. This movie is emotional, timeless. It should be played in front of every single student that's in middle school and high school, whether or not they've seen it before. Because life isn't something you should always have to live the rules by. Rules, I don't mean laws. I mean, obviously you should follow the laws, but being someone surprising is something that will make life more interesting for you, and being not judgmental and more open to the possibility of how interesting one of the most quiet people in your school or your office or your building can be. I feel like that would make the human experience so much better, and that's what this movie is trying to say about it. If you become less judgmental of the people around you, like the brain, the athlete, the basket case, the princess, and the criminal in the movie, the human experience will rock. I mean, I couldn't imagine a better way to kind of show how we all need to be less judgmental of one another. Alright, movie requested by my father was Ferris Beullers Day Off. Another 80s movie! Yay! There's a common theme throughout all of these 80s movies. It's just kind of the living it up, you know. It's definitely something to consider. It makes these movies so great because you don't always want to be so serious, and if you are, you'll definitely end up average and normal. And I mean, no offense, I mean, for some of you that may be completely comfortable, but this movie is definitely expressing going out of your comfort zone to find what your best day ever would look like. The main character, Ferris Bueller, and his best friend Cameron skip school with Ferris's girlfriend Salone, and they just have a day exploring the beauty of the city of Chicago and doing all sorts of crazy things. Cameron is kind of the straight A type of student with the strict parents, you know, never really goes out, does anything crazy, and Ferris pushes him out of his comfort zone and created the best day off of school that I could even ever imagine. This is saying the human experience is something to explore, and you're supposed to get uncomfortable with it at times, and everything can be so comfortable as is, but that can still be boring, and it can leave you with regrets while you're laying there on your deathbed thinking about your past life. I mean, it's definitely expressing to get uncomfortable with life and to go out of your comfort zone and be wild, be crazy, because you never know what you can find out of it. Alright, thanks for watching, Mrs. Kirkendall. Sorry it's a 10-minute video, but tried to be a little bit more creative than a poster or an essay kind of movie critic, like, if you got that by any chance. So yeah, happy grading!